You are watching the National Weather Desk.
And good morning, everyone, and welcome to the National Weather Desk. I'm Angela Brown. 8 skiers are dead and a 9th is presumed dead following the nation's deadliest avalanche in 45 years. Now, crews rescued 6 survivors. They were part of a team of 15 skiers and guides who were backcountry skiing when heavy snow blanketed this area right here in the Sierra Nevada mountains. This all unfolded northwest of Lake Tahoe. Madison Wilbur begins our coverage.
The weather is a factor. It's not a resource issue as we speak. It is a weather condition and safety condition for our response teams.
4 days ago, 4 tour guides from Blackbird Mountain Guides and 11 skiers set off to the backcountry of Lake Tahoe. In the last 24 hours, 1 tour guide and 5 guests were rescued from that mountainside. The bodies of 8 of the 9 additional skiers were recovered, and 1 still missing. Rescuers continue their efforts despite treacherous conditions.
From the 2 miles in, they skied in because again, the tracked machinery and the potential for another avalanche.
The survivors immediately tried to save each other.
They had themselves already started, looking for their teammates and their clients that were missing in the avalanche.
And if you don't live in an avalanche-prone area, you probably don't fully understand how avalanches form. That's why we have 2 meteorologists here to teach us about them. In a moment, we head into the Cascade Mountains with George Wallenberger. But first, here's Salt Lake City meteorologist Lindsay Storrs.
They tend to occur on slopes that are greater than 30 degrees in steepness. What's going on is that we've got a pretty weak snowpack up there right now from months ago. And you've got all these changes in temperature and changes in cloud cover that over time have changed the surface of that snowpack. It's almost made it sugary. You've got cold air and these clear skies at night, and that really turns that snowpack weak. So that when storms come in and dump new snow up there on that weak snowpack, it's very easy to trigger an avalanche simply from a rock falling or from a skier moving through an area. And that's when you get that snow that slides right down that sugary old snowpack, and it can bury trees, people, and cars.
Atop this winter wonderland perch large pockets of snow, tens of thousands of tons that can quickly destabilize in an instant, speeding downward 60 to 100 miles per hour.
So in the United States, we have about 27 people die annually in avalanches.
Particularly at risk, hikers, snowshoers, or people sledding. Warm, cold, windy, and sunny weather can all pose risks in some cases, while not in others. But the one consistent rule up here:
big changes mean big problems. So if I have a big change in the weather, I should expect big problems with avalanches.
changes that can make their mark below the surface of the snowpack. By digging into the snow in the field, you can expose a lot of clues as to what happened in recent weeks. This is the old surface of the snow. Last week we had 6 additional fresh inches of snow. On top of that, that discontinuity may create a weak plain over which future avalanches could slide. This weak layer we can test by carving out a block of snow. Did you see that?
Nice little mini avalanche for you.
You basically made a mini avalanche just
Made
now.
a mini avalanche.
A new heavy snow or rainfall could destabilize this weak layer, especially on a much steeper slope nearby. Paying attention to these avalanche forecasts will keep you safer in the mountains this winter.
Well, snow was falling in California again yesterday. This was in Castle Rock State Park, south of San Francisco. And while the Sierra mostly got a break on Wednesday, the heavy snow returns today. Winter weather alerts stretch up and down the state through tonight. An additional 2 to 4 feet are expected at the highest elevations. Strong winds will create near whiteout conditions at times. Now, other parts of California saw heavy rain this week. One person died after trying to cross a flooded creek near Monterey and outside LA. Water rushing through the Santa Monica Channel carried slabs of concrete right here into a neighborhood. They will have to be removed to ensure proper drainage in the future. Utah finally got its first meaningful snowstorm of the winter season this week, bringing much needed moisture to a dry desert landscape. 2 ski resorts actually closed early as snowfall totals approached 4 feet. The snow also created a nightmare for drivers on the road. David Ochoa has that story.
Utah's first real snow of winter didn't hold back. Even before things really got started, we saw cars pulled over and even facing the wrong way.
Are you injured at all?
We rode with Mason Packwood, who has only been on the incident management team since July, meaning this is his first winter on the IMT.
Because Utah's winters are usually a lot busier than this, a lot more snow than we've gotten lately.
That changed on Wednesday. We made our way up Parley's Canyon and saw that old familiar winter weather and the problems that come with it.
It's still pretty slick. Yeah, and it's coming down pretty hard.
Both cars and semis stuck on the side of the road, some needing a little push. Some people had to be told to just wait it out.
I get it, everyone wants to try and get to their place, but if your car won't make it, you can't really impede the whole canyon.
None of the incidents we stopped at had any injuries, just some frustrated drivers.
Yeah, it's gonna be a while.
The storm gave everyone on the road a reminder of what it's like to drive when it actually snows.
Northern Minnesota was hit with blizzard conditions on Wednesday. Heavy, wet snow and up to 60-mile-per-hour winds made it tough to get around and even stand outside, as this meteorologist found out.
It's hard. It's almost hard to stand up. Yeah, I've never faced anything like this. I've been out in tropical storms back in Virginia. This doesn't compare to this. This is a whole new level.
Ooh, that's windy. High winds and low humidity have caused several wildfires in the Texas and Oklahoma panhandles. Oklahoma's governor declared a state of emergency as firefighters battle the flames. Now, many residents were forced to evacuate and are anxiously awaiting for any word of what may actually be left of their houses and also when they can even go back home. Abby Molina has more.
Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt declaring a state of emergency because of wildfires in Beaver, Texas and Woodward counties. The biggest of those, the Ranger Road fire in Beaver County, has consumed more than 145,000 acres in Oklahoma and Kansas. 4 firefighters were injured fighting the fire. 3 of them were hurt in a rollover crash. 1 firefighter was burned. The other 2 were thrown off the truck. In the Texas Panhandle, people in Valle de Oro, northwest of Amarillo, had to evacuate because of what's known as the Lavender Fire. It has burned more than 9,000 acres. I talked to some of the victims who are anxious to get back and see if there's any damage.
To our knowledge, no one has been hurt yet or died. We don't know about livestock. Some friends of ours, they had to cut fence and let their horses out. And our church is still good. My house is still standing. I got pictures from a friend of ours, Kent Gissa, this morning showing our house. Kind of stressful, kind of tough.
Well, the East Coast could be hit by a nor'easter this weekend. Low pressure is expected to form off the mid-Atlantic coast on Sunday, and it could strengthen into a so-called bomb cyclone. If it makes landfall, it will bring coastal flooding, heavy rain, snow to areas from Virginia all the way to New York, as well as high winds. But as of now, the track and impacts are really uncertain. Well, Sunday marks the end of the 2026 Winter Olympics. Meteorologist Violet Skybor is already looking ahead to the next Winter Games in 4 years.
The next Olympics will be held in the French Alps February 1st to the 17th. And these Winter Olympics will be a lot colder than what we saw in Italy. Normally highs are in the 30s in Italy, but over in the French Alps, their normal highs in February are in the negatives. Overnights in the negative teens, and that doesn't even factor in the wind chill. Plus, they see a lot of natural snow, about 2 to 3 feet, so it should be an interesting next Winter Olympics.
And coming up on the National Weather Desk, we'll look at how a warmer than average February is impacting the state's winter tourism, and we're going to help you better understand ice jams and why they can simply be so dangerous. Time now for a short break, but first we take in nighttime views of Las Vegas, Nevada.
I'm meteorologist Charlie Lopresti with a look at the Northeast. A nice looking day is on tap in the Northeast. This is 7 a.m. Most towns are in the teens and 20s. We should get a nice warm up back into the 30s to, in some cases, near 40 degrees. Notice the sunny skies that will be with us throughout the day on our Thursday. Things change Friday. Our next weather maker will bring a round of snow into New England for Friday afternoon and into Friday night. That feature will be moving out by Saturday morning. Our best chance for a half foot of snow will be in the darker shades of blue.
I'm meteorologist Justin Chambers tracking our next weather maker. We're starting off foggy on Thursday morning across the mid-Atlantic. For the afternoon, we're going to see more of those rain showers develop, especially late Thursday afternoon and into Thursday night. Some rain left over into Friday morning before clearing out by Friday afternoon. Actually could see some sun by then. We'll see those temperatures into the mid to upper 40s on Thursday afternoon. And then Friday starts off chilly but warming up nicely by the afternoon.
Hi, I'm meteorologist Jennifer Collins with a look at your southeast forecast. A mild start to the morning for most of the southeast with temperatures in the 50s from the Carolinas to the mid-60s along the northern Gulf Coast. Additional cloud cover for most of the southeast with a few passing showers across northern Georgia and the Carolinas into Thursday morning. Then dry into Thursday afternoon for most of Florida with a mostly sunny sky as temperatures climb into the low 80s across most of central and south Florida. The chance for rain returns from the Mississippi River Valley heading into Friday morning.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
A look at snowy scenes across the nation from Green Bay and a fresh falling on these lucky mountaintops near Las Vegas. And it's California snowing lately during these winter days, from mountain snow in the northern part of the state to central California and this coating in the mountains near Bakersfield.
For more content like this, follow the National Weather Desk on TikTok.
Well, for this time of the year, Wisconsin is usually dealing with snowfall, but right now it's rain and warmer weather for a normally cold and snowy region. It is having a major impact. Meteorologist Audrey Lee has more.
Oh, compared to February about 15 years ago, we should have about 3-foot banks of snow and awesome trails.
For Chute Pond Snowmobile Club in Oconto County, recent warmth forced the club to close its 100 miles of trails Sunday morning.
Usually our precipitation is snow, and that's what we like to see. The rain and the warm weather, it's not something that snowmobilers want to see at all.
The impact is much more than missing out on joyrides. It's hurting the local economy.
It costs a lot to the economy up here, because if we don't have decent trails, we don't have the tourists and the snowmobilers that come up. On a good February, you shouldn't see any parking areas that aren't filled with trucks and trailers of people that come up in snowmobile.
It's not just a bad season.
This year and the past couple years, they have not been good tourist years for us and the economy.
During a good winter, the club typically spends around 500 hours grooming trails. But in recent years, it's been barely half of that. Clubs remain hopeful the season isn't over, but they need help from Mother Nature.
Portions of Ohio have seen warmer than average temperatures to start the week, and that's leading to a danger called ice jams. They develop in the water and can cause flooding on roads. Emma Bernier has more.
As winter begins to loosen its grip, creeks that were once frozen solid are beginning to shift. When large chunks of ice break apart, they can pile up in narrow sections of a creek, creating what's known as an ice jam. That buildup essentially becomes a dam.
You get those large chunks of ice, it builds up, and it just causes the water levels to increase, particularly behind the ice jams.
Ice jams are most common during rapid temperature changes, especially when a sudden warm-up follows an extended deep freeze. Heavy rain on top of melting snow can make the situation worse.
The ice can get pushed along the roadways, along the creeks and streams, but also too is that it could actually cause backflooding on those roadways.
Officials say there are a few warning signs to watch for. Changes in water levels, water backing up in unusual areas, large chunks of ice in one spot, and unusual shifting. If you live near a creek or stream, experts recommend keeping a close eye on water levels during warm spells.
But if you have to drive those areas, particularly at night, please make sure just to use caution.
Authorities stress that drivers should never attempt to cross flooded roadways, even if the water appears shallow, and to also contact emergency services if seen. And emergency officials say to be aware of your surroundings and the changing temperatures.
Well, the freeze and thaw cycle can also lead to other dangers on the road. Potholes. Meteorologist Alex Lamont explains how potholes form in the winter months.
Here's how it works. Moisture from snow and rain seeps into small cracks in the pavement. When temperatures drop below freezing, that water turns to ice, and ice expands. As it expands, it pushes those cracks wider, weakening the road from the inside out. When temperatures warm above freezing, the ice melts, but the damage remains. Add in the weight of passing vehicles, and weakened spots can quickly turn into devious potholes. With the frequent freezing nights and milder afternoons, this cycle can repeat over and over, which is why late winter is prime pothole season.
Well, warmer temperatures also get people thinking about spring. And did you know there are things you can do now to get your garden ready for the warmer months? Meteorologist Sharon Ray explains.
You probably have noticed we've had a lot of twigs and things coming off the trees, and may not be a bad idea to maybe pick some of those up and discard them. So that's just one thing you can do, is go out, pick up all of those twigs and branches that are laying around. You can trim trees, but do it before the buds appear. You got to make sure they're not budding quite yet so you don't damage the tree. Also, late blooming perennials, you can get those all cleaned up as long as they're the late blooming ones. As well as you can check your garden soil, test it, and get it ready for the upcoming planting season. And those borders, those garden borders, you can refresh those and maybe even repair some fencing if it's gotten damaged over the winter. Another thing, how many times have we gone out to mow the lawn and it doesn't want to start? So this would be a good time maybe to get your lawnmower or your rototiller or those power tools ready. You can get some fresh fuel and oil in those. You can sharpen the blades, replace the spark plugs and air filters, and also check for damaged parts.
Well, in Maine, the changing weather means it's time to start thinking about, the maple syrup season. Meteorologist Hannah Sheehy looks at how weather impacts maple trees and why the Maine maple season is starting a little bit earlier this year.
As February settles in, Maine's maple syrup season is beginning to stir earlier than when it once did. Sap typically starts flowing between mid-February and mid-March, which is triggered by daytime temperatures climbing above freezing and overnight lows below freezing, the ideal temperatures being around 40s during the day and 20s at night. The thaw-freeze cycle creates pressure inside maple trees, allowing sap to move between the roots below and the trunk above. Once sap starts running, the season typically lasts 4 to 6 weeks. In recent years, the thaw-freeze window has been shifting. In previous decades, the cycle began closer to springtime, but a warming climate has resulted in thaw-freeze cycles to start sooner and become less predictable, nudging sap flow earlier on the calendar and, in some cases, even shortening the season. While this has been a frigid winter, we are entering a thaw-freeze period where producers may consider tapping their trees this week. But producers should definitely keep an eye on temperatures and decide when tapping is best for them. In the studio, I'm meteorologist Hannah Sheehy.
Well, here's the thing. Social media isn't a great place to get your weather forecast. It can be full of fake information. Right now, there is also some fake news going around about planets and the night sky. Meteorologist Jeff Exline took to Instagram to separate fact from fiction.
Been seeing a lot of posts recently shared about this parade of planets in the evening sky on February 28th, the last day of the month. Sounds amazing, right? Have all these planets lined up and see them all at once. Jupiter, Uranus, Saturn, Venus, Neptune, Mercury, everyone's sharing it. Oh, I gotta check this out. There's a bit of a problem. That's because only 3 of them, Jupiter, Venus, and Saturn, will be visible to observers, and only Jupiter will be visible to the naked eye. That's because Mercury, Venus, Neptune, Saturn are close to the sun, therefore close to the horizon at sunset and in bright twilight. Unfortunately, Jupiter is the one you'll be able to spy very easily that night. Of course, that's as long as the sky is clear. Sorry to rain on your parade of planets.
All right, and time now for a short break, but first we take in views of Seattle and the beautiful Puget Sound.
Well, a very good Thursday morning, everyone. I'm meteorologist Andrew Buckmichael. Got some scattered snow showers across Central Plains and a chance for some strong thunderstorms across the Ohio Valley for today, especially this evening. Tomorrow, we are seeing that rain kind of kicking its way out early. Got some snow showers across the western Great Lakes here. And then as we head into your Saturday, getting cooler for a lot of the Midwest and a little quieter as well.
Well, good Thursday morning to you. I'm meteorologist Chris Suchan. Look at our forecast today across the region. Start out with some patchy clouds, areas of fog, a few sprinkles in the southern portions of the region. Otherwise, a lot of sunshine. Highs from the 50s, 60s to the 70s and 80s. Thursday afternoon and into your Friday we go. We see some showers and sprinkles possible near the Gulf Coast through the day. A couple of sprinkles or showers here, southeast Texas, Louisiana. Highs 50s, 60s and 70s.
Well, hi there, everybody, and a happy Thursday to you. I'm meteorologist Shannon O'Donnell. After being quiet for so long this winter, now much of the action is here out west, and the Sierra continues to get pummeled by heavy snow today, heavy rain lingering in other parts of California. Meanwhile, very cool air in place over the Pacific Northwest, and you can see this low is eventually going to hightail it toward Utah as we head toward the end of the week. And that's the scene from here.
You are watching the National Weather Desk.
In Tennessee, warm temperatures could make strong storms a possibility near the Kentucky border this week. Meteorologist Brett Luna reviews the ingredients needed for severe storms and also tornadoes.
For severe thunderstorms, there's 4 main ingredients that we're looking for: shear, lift, instability, and moisture. Instability is the fuel for these storms. The sun heats up during the day, that's the fuel. The warm parcels of air rise and cool as they go up. Moisture is squeezed out, and that's when the clouds form. This is the beginning stage. The storm and the clouds can keep on growing and develop a strong updraft and downdraft. Eventually, though, that downdraft is going to dominate the storm, and that storm is just going to start to die out. Sometimes we can get severe thunderstorms that produce tornadoes. Here's how that happens. This is where that wind shear comes into play. Wind shear is when we get a change in wind speed and direction between the ground and higher up in the sky. This change in wind speed and direction with height causes horizontal rotation. The strong lift in the thunderstorm shifts this rotation vertically, and that's when the tornado forms.
And we'd love to share your weather content on the air. You can find us on all of your favorite social media platforms. Just search the National Weather Desk, and we will be right back. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Angela Brown. Make it a great day, and we'll see you right back here tomorrow.